So when Jorge Bergoglio took over the papacy, and listen, people out there, I know that's not the way you pronounce his name, but when Jorge Bergoglio took over the papacy, personally instituted a new canon in canon law, a new rule that says something to the fact that if you, meaning like people like me, somehow shame them or get people to think less of them, well, then that's grounds for us to punish you in all the various ways they can try to punish you, like excommunication, like laicization, right? So first, he makes a new canon law saying, if you do anything, I'm going to crush you like a bug. And if you say anything, and then he goes out and he does things like the Pachamama, like Luther on the Vatican stamp, like having Judas in his office, right? There's a statue, I guess, and there's a picture where Jesus comes and forgives Judas after Jesus rose from the dead, and therefore Judas is now in heaven, which, of course, that's not true. That's not what Jesus taught, right? But that's what he's got on his desk. That's absolute apostasy.
Well, it's almost like he's baiting people to break this law that he adopted.
And right, exactly. So what kind of tyrant, what kind of dictator will make a rule saying, if you say anything against me, I'm going to crush you like a bug, and then goes out and does everything he's not supposed to do. And yet you can't say anything or else he's going to crush you. And that's the problem. You see, I won't say who it was, but a high-ranking prelate in the church once said to me that you're going to feel very alone, Father, because even your friends who agree with you in private will not be seen with you in public. That's the same as like Nicodemus, right? Yes. He came to agree with Jesus, right? But he did it in the middle of the night because he knew the other guys would throw him out. Yes. So I can tell you from personal experience, again, it's thank you, Lord, for all this personal experience that I'm going through, because it helps me to understand clearly what I knew and can teach others. A lot of my friends, closest friends, agree 100% with me, but will say absolutely nothing. They will go along with, they'll grouse, right? I get sick of listening to the grousing. Listen, if you're complaining, why don't you say anything? Why just leave me here out twisting in the wind, right? But they won't say anything because they know full well that these monsters and miters will cancel them. And I have to tell you, when I was canceled, I had no idea the number. I thought there's maybe me, maybe one or two others around the country. Who knew? It's upwards of like 2,000. I'm sitting right now. I'm not in my normal, typical meditation room where you would see me on interviews. I'm sitting out in a B&B. I think it's my first B&B I've ever been in. But I'm with canceled priests. There's something like 2,000 of them. And there's a bunch of us have gathered together for fraternity. So they're off celebrating the Holy Mass right now. And so that's why I'm alone here in this house. They might come barging in. And if you hear any commotion, that's what you're hearing. Canceled priests. I found out there's like 2,000 priests. This represents a whole bunch of priests who have been taken out of ministering to the people. Right?
Yes.
Yes. And that means ministering to your eternal soul. I can tell you this. People, listen closely. You know the priests who love you, because they're the ones that fed you during this madness of COVID lockdown, that these bishops just caved to the government. They're in bed with the government, sometimes literally. So grateful to every single faithful Catholic that supports every single canceled priest. So, but look, if they can do that to Frank Pavone, Father Pavone, they can do it to anybody. Yes. So that's why priests won't speak up and say anything, because they know that's what will happen. So, but look at, at least they're not lining us up and shooting us like they did in Mexico in 1926. But who knows what's coming down the road, right?
Yet, right? Yes.
Anyway, thank you all. God bless you all.